Good morning, Year 4. This is Mrs. Fletcher-Brown, and I'm going to talk you through our English week this week. So we're continuing with our week on persuasion. Last week, we looked at creating our own poster adverts for a product that you designed. And this week, we're going to be focusing on TV and radio adverts, which is all very exciting. But before we do that, we need to have another little go at a spelling starter. Now, we started this a few weeks ago, and it's something that we want to start doing with you each English lesson. So at the start of each lesson, you'll have a spelling starter that looks a little bit like this. You'll have 6 words. The words will change each week. This is just something that we'll be doing either through remote learning or in school. So it's not something that you need to practice at home, unless you want to, of course. So you'll be writing down these words on your whiteboards as many times as you can and give yourself a 3-minute timer to do that. Then, when the 3-minute timer goes off, you're going to rub them all off and you're going to have a go at writing them down again to see if you can spell them correctly. If you don't have a whiteboard or a white pen at home, then you can just use a piece of paper and some pencils as well. That's absolutely fine. And just use a new piece of paper after the 3 minutes is up to check how well you have done. Okay, so Monday's lesson today, we're going to be identifying persuasive language, and we're going to be looking at that in TV adverts. So last week, you all designed a product that you then created an advert for. You worked so brilliantly, guys, and your features that you included were absolutely wonderful. This week, you're going to be persuading people to buy the product that you designed, but through a TV or a radio advert. So we're going to be spending a lot of time thinking about the persuasive language that we're going to use to encourage a consumer to purchase your product. My goodness, those words sound all very confusing. Let's go over them again. So that persuasive language, that basically means the words that we use that will make somebody buy the product. The word encourage means that we're going to gently push that person to buy the product. The word consumer means the person that's buying it. Purchase means buy, and the product is the thing that you've designed. So today you're going to be watching some videos and writing down what of the following you hear. So these are the things that we're going to be looking out for. So I want you to think about the language aimed at the target consumer. That means what words have been used that are really, really appealing to the people that you want to buy your product. Reviews from happy consumers. So it might be that people that have bought the product previously have written something about it. The price, the language that shows appeal and honesty, and adjectives and prepositions to modify nouns. Don't worry if you're freaking out and thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know what any of that means. We're going to go through it on the next slide. Okay, so language aimed at the consumer. That means thinking about the age of your consumer and the lifestyle they might lead. The language you use should be aimed at them. For example, children won't want to listen to complex language. So if your advert is aimed at children, you'll want to use language that appeals to them. Reviews from happy consumers. Using reviews from people that have previously bought the product can encourage new consumers to purchase it. The better the reviews, the more likely others will be to buy it too. The price. Including the price is helpful, but including deals on the price can entice the consumer into making their first purchase. They may be more likely to buy your product if they feel they are saving money. Language that shows appeal and honesty. While we want to encourage and persuade consumers to buy your product using language that appeals to them, and think back carefully to last week, we talked about lots of positive language that written adverts use to target their consumer. but it's also really important that we are truthful. So, for example, don't tell the consumer that new trainers are going to make them fly, because we know that they won't do that. Adjectives and prepositions to modify the noun. Now, that might freak you out. You might be looking at that thinking, I don't know what any of those words mean. It sounds really difficult. But you do. I promise you that you do. You've shown us before that you do. You know that nouns are the names of objects or things. You know that adjectives are describing words. You know that prepositions are words that tell us where or when something is in relation to something else. So, for example, rich, velvety chocolate harvested from the Amazonian rainforest. Rich, velvety are the adjectives. Chocolate is the noun. And harvested from the Amazonian rainforest are the prepositions. So those are adjectives and prepositions that modify the noun. So this is your task for today. You are going to watch each of these adverts, and there's 4 of them here. If you click on these links, it should take you to YouTube and the advert that you need to watch. And fill in the table below. This is the table. It's pretty much the same as what this table is here. And underneath each heading, I've written an explanation, just like it was written here. You need to watch each advert and you need to fill in these boxes. So for example, you'll watch advert 1 by clicking on this link. You will write down any language that was aimed at the target consumer. You'll write down any price that was mentioned. You'll write down which language is used that appeals and shows honesty. And you'll write down any adjectives or prepositions that modify the noun. You might have to watch the advert more than once, and that's fine. It might be that the price column is left blank sometimes. That's fine too. Once you've watched advert 1, you can then click on advert 2 and fill in the same boxes. If you need to print this table, it's saved on the pupil portal. So you can click off this, you can download that and print it off, or you can download it to your computer and you can write it yourself on your computer, or you can just copy the headings that you see here and you can make notes on a piece of paper with a pencil. Whatever works best for you. So this is your task for today. Once you've done that, you can take a picture of your table and submit it to Class Dojo. Really, really well done, and I'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday's session.